Before we jump into the video, I just want to say, as you guys are seeing this, I'm going to be on a plane on my way to LA for the Borderlands 4 FanFest. I'm going to be amongst the first couple people to be streaming Borderlands 4. So if you guys want to check out some early gameplay, have any sort of questions for me, make sure you drop by my Twitch Saturday, June 21st at 12 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to be streaming from there. So if you guys have any sort of questions, please let me know in my chat. Also, stop by Twitter. I'm going to be posting a bunch of stuff over the weekend on there. I'm going to be with a bunch of other Borderlands creators, so it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, just wanted to mention that before we jump into the video. So if any of you have been watching all of the Borderlands 4 coverage that has been coming out over the past day or two, you'll know a bunch of people got to play the game early and give their first impressions on it. And a very common denominator across all of their videos was that we essentially just have the compass now. This has been a big thing on Twitter, like Killer6 has been a big advocate for it. A bunch of us have. We've been constantly saying like, hey, we really need more than just this compass. And they've been a little resistant to it, but today we just got huge news from Randy Pitchford himself. And I am actually blown away how quickly they implemented this. We are now getting a radar. So it's not going to be a true mini map where you see the layout of the map. This is truly just going to be like a radar that highlights where the enemies are at. So he talks about that here in this tweet. So if we go ahead and take a peek, we can watch the actual video. So as you can see, they're highlighting it up here, and it's going to tell you exactly where enemies are around you, if they're above you or below you, which is perfect. I think this is a great middle ground between the compass and a true mini-map. This is the main reason I would ever want a mini-map, is for just locating enemies. They're constantly spawning, especially with how much enemy density that they're advertising with this game. I think it's going to be crazy later on. So it's really going to be nice to know exactly where enemies are coming from at all times. Also, just another little tidbit. They are playing aim in here, which is pretty cool. And we get to see kind of like what the HUD is going to look like. There's two kind of action skilly looking things. I think one's going to end up being like a melee override, but that is something worth noting there. Yeah, Randy goes on to say that the feature will be off by default when the game launches. It's not going to be in the demo that we're playing this weekend, but it is something they were able to turn around very quickly over like the past week or two, which is awesome. Like, it's crazy how quick they took the feedback from us and then implemented it in the game. That is a fantastic sign, and that's honestly the biggest reason why I'm making this video, because in the past I have harped on it many times. Gearbox does not seem to want to like learn from their mistakes or listen all that well. A very good example would be the Mayhem / like modifier system that was in Borderlands 3. Mayhem 3 was existed at the start of the game, and there was a bunch of really annoying modifiers, so they moved to Mayhem 4, which it still had modifiers, but it was only 2, and it was basically no modifiers. It was essentially Mayhem 4. Then everybody was super happy with that. I still think Mayhem 4 was like the best that Borderlands 3 ever was. And then they launched Mayhem 2.0 with, Mayhem 1 to 10, and they all have modifiers, and these modifiers were very oppressive at times. And it was just like, I don't get why we just doubled back on what made like everybody happy. And then once again, they received pushback from that and launched Mayhem 11 with no modifiers again. So that's why I'm saying, like, they don't seem to always want to listen. Like, when they have a vision, they want to hold on to it. And their vision with this game is they didn't want people playing a mini map. So they wanted the compass to help you navigate kind of the big open world. You get to see some more like verticality with it and get to know exactly where things are. But people were not having a good time with that in the demos that they got to play over the last month or whatever. And this is a fantastic middle ground, because now they still get the compass system, but you still get to know where enemies are with that radar, which is awesome. Randy goes on to say, this happened because the best elements of our community, I'm talking about the real fans who sincerely want the best for the game and gave constructive notes and made reasonable arguments. You know who you are and you rock. You made this happen. And he even specifically shouts out K6 himself for carrying kind of the lead on this radar push. So super awesome for that. And that is like seriously a huge part of it. I mean, the internet, you guys are fully well aware. People just love to just scream things at anybody. And this is such an important part when you guys are giving feedback to developers, and just goes outside of Borderlands, any game. Like, be reasonable, be constructive with it, and I guarantee you they're going to be a billion times more likely to listen to the community as opposed to when they're just getting screamed at and getting called all sorts of stuff, death threats. Like, they're just not going to listen to you at that point. They're just going to turn off all like community communication this way. So just keep that in mind going forward. Graham Timmons, who is the creative director over at Gearbox, went on to quote tweet Randy and talk about it a little bit more. And they added radar literally last week. Like, I'm serious. They just turned this around, which is crazy. Like, he is not joking. That is insane. Like, I didn't think we would get confirmation that a radar would be coming this soon at all. He goes on to say it's too risky for the demo that we're going to be playing this weekend at the FanFest, but it will be coming for launch. And he gives props to Jason Brown, Justin Dooley, and Ray Pena, who also worked on this. And they were like, hey, if we're doing this, I want it for launch. And they were able to turn it around that quickly. So I'm sure this could go through like a little bit more refinement. I think it looks really good already, but this could be something that we see refined a little bit over the next few months, or maybe even a little after launch. Who knows? But for right now, I think it looks fantastic. And they did such a good job on such a short notice. Now, obviously, this is really good news for the game, just, you know, it having this feature. But once again, this is more just an overall win, like a philosophy win in my eyes. And like the big reason why I'm even making this video, because this is just such a sigh of relief for myself. Just with how Gearbox plans to be handling Borderlands 4. If they can take such big feedback like this, and like, I know a minimap radar isn't like the craziest thing in the world. Obviously, it's been in our previous games and something that should have been there from the start. But it shows that they're willing, like I said earlier, like they've always been kind of stuck in a vision that they've had. But it shows now that they're willing to kind of branch out from that vision if that's what the general like player base wants. And they're able to do that incredibly quickly. So I think that bodes very well for the launch of this game. Because I'm sure there's going to be some hiccups here and there with various things that the community is not going to like. It's the case with every game. No game is perfect. So if we, as a community, give them nice, constructive feedback, I'm sure we can see changes, reasonable changes within those areas as the game goes on. And we can end up making Borderlands 4 seriously the best Borderlands in the franchise. I have really high hopes for this game. But yeah, I just want to talk about that stuff. And that was a big reason why I wanted to make this video. So hopefully, once again, I will see you guys over on stream Saturday, June 21st at 12 p.m. Pacific for the Borderlands FanFest stream. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this far. I really do appreciate it. Hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.